Welcome to the English Talk Show, the podcast where we learn English together through stories. I'm Rex.
And I'm Melissa. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Whether you are listening for the very first time or you are coming back for another episode, we are so happy you are here with us today.
That's right. This podcast is made for English beginners. We use stories to help you learn. Stories are a wonderful way to remember new words and grammar. You learn English, and you also enjoy a good story at the same time.
Exactly. And today's story is very special. It is emotional, it is touching, and it is full of great English for you to learn.
Today's story is called The Old Photograph. In this episode, you will learn family vocabulary. Words like grandmother, grandfather, relative, and ancestor. You will also practice past tense, words like was, were, went, found, and learned. And you will learn how to describe a photograph in English.
We will also stop during the story to explain important vocabulary words. So don't worry if you don't understand every single word right away. We will help you. Just relax, listen, and enjoy the story.
All right, are you ready? Let's begin. The Old Photograph. Chapter 1. The Box in the Attic.
It was a rainy Saturday afternoon. A 16-year-old girl named Maya was home alone. Her parents were at work. The house was quiet. Maya was bored, so she decided to explore the attic, the small room at the very top of the house.
The attic was full of old things. There were boxes, old furniture, and dusty books. Maya walked carefully through the small space. Then she saw something in the corner, a large brown box with the word memories written on it in black ink.
Maya was curious. She opened the box slowly. Inside, she found old letters, small ribbons, and pressed flowers. And then, at the very bottom of the box, she found a photograph, an old black and white photograph.
She picked it up carefully. The photograph showed two young people, a young man and a young woman. They were standing in front of a large building. They were both smiling. They looked happy and a little nervous at the same time.
Maya looked more closely. The young woman was wearing a long skirt and a white blouse. She had dark hair and bright eyes. The young man was wearing a suit. He looked serious, but his smile was warm and kind.
On the back of the photograph, someone had written in small, careful handwriting, "First day of English class, September 1962.
Maya stared at the photograph for a long time. Then she realized something. She knew those faces. The young woman was her grandmother, and the young man was her grandfather.
Wow, what a discovery! Okay, before we continue, let's stop here for our very first vocabulary spotlight of the episode. This is the part where Melissa and I explain some important words to help you follow the story.
Yes! Vocabulary Spotlight number 1. Today, we are looking at 5 family words. These are very important words that you will hear in everyday English. Are you ready? Let's go!
Grandmother is our first vocabulary word. Your grandmother is your mother's mother or your father's mother. She is an older woman in your family. Example sentence. My grandmother makes delicious food. Say it with me. Grandmother.
Grandfather is our second vocabulary word. Your grandfather is your mother's father or your father's father. He is an older man in your family. Example sentence. My grandfather told me stories every night. Grandfather. Great word.
Grandchild is our third vocabulary word. A grandchild is the child of your son or daughter. So Maya in our story, she is the grandchild of her grandparents. Example sentence. She is their only grandchild. Grandchild. Easy, right?
Relative is our fourth vocabulary word. A relative is any member of your family, close or distant. Your parents, your cousins, your aunts and uncles, they are all your relatives. Example sentence. We visited our relatives during the holidays. Relative.
Ancestor is our fifth vocabulary word. This is a beautiful word. An ancestor is a person from your family who lived a long time ago, like your great-grandparents, or even further back in history. Example sentence. My ancestors came from a small village. Ancestor. Say it slowly. Ancestor.
Wonderful. So let's review quickly. Grandmother, your mother's or father's mother. Grandfather, your mother's or father's father. Grandchild, the child of your son or daughter. Relative, any family member. Ancestor, a family member from the past. Excellent work, everyone.
Now let's get back to the story. Chapter 2. The story behind the photograph.
That evening, Maya waited for her mother to come home. When her mother walked through the door, Maya ran to her and held up the old photograph. She said, "Mom, who are these people? I found this in a box in the attic."
Her mother looked at the photograph and smiled a big, warm smile. She sat down at the kitchen table and said, "Oh, Maya, that is your grandmother and your grandfather. This photograph is very old. It was taken before I was even born."
Maya sat down next to her mother. She said, "Tell me everything. What were they doing? Why were they in front of that big building?"
Her mother took a long, slow breath and began to tell the story. Your grandfather's name was Eduardo. He was 22 years old when this photograph was taken. He came from a small town in another country. He came alone with one suitcase and very little money. He wanted a better life.
Maya listened carefully. Her mother continued. When Eduardo arrived, he realized something very quickly. He could not speak English, not one word, and without English, everything was very, very difficult. He could not find a job. He could not talk to people. He felt very lonely.
That feeling of being in a new place and not understanding the language, it's one of the most difficult feelings in the world. But Eduardo did not give up.
That's right. Maya's mother said Eduardo found a community center near his small apartment. On the door of the community center, there was a sign. The sign said, "Free English classes. Every Monday and Wednesday, all welcome." Eduardo read that sign 3 times, and then he walked inside.
On his first day of class, the room was full of people. There were students from many different countries. Some were older, some were young. They were all there for the same reason. They wanted to learn English. They wanted to build a new life.
And then Eduardo saw her, a young woman sitting near the window. She had dark hair and bright eyes. Her name was Rosa. She was 20 years old. She had also come from another country. She was also alone, and she was also very nervous on that first day of class.
The teacher asked all the students to introduce themselves. Eduardo stood up. He said very slowly, very carefully, "My name is Eduardo. I am from a small town. I am happy to be here." The class clapped for him. Rosa smiled at him from across the room.
Oh, that is so sweet. You know, there is something so wonderful about those first brave words in a new language. Just like Eduardo, every one of you listening today is being brave every time you try to speak English. We are so proud of you.
Absolutely, and that is the perfect moment to go to our second vocabulary spotlight. This time, we are looking at past tense verbs and some very useful phrases for describing photographs. Let's do it.
Vocabulary Spotlight number 2. First, let's talk about past tense verbs. When we tell a story about something that already happened in the past, we use a different form of the verb. Let's look at 5 important past tense verbs from our story today.
Verb number 1. Found. The present tense is find. The past tense is found. Example, Maya found an old photograph in the attic. Found. Try to use this word today.
Verb number 2. Learned. The present tense is learn. The past tense is learned. Example, Eduardo learned English at the community center. Learned. Very simple, right?
The next verb number 3 is remembered. Present tense is remember. Past tense is remembered. Example, Rosa remembered her first day in the English class. Remembered. Say it slowly. Remembered.
Verb number 4. Went. Present tense is go. Past tense is went. This is an irregular verb. That means it changes completely. Example, Eduardo went to English class every Monday and Wednesday. Went.
And verb number 5, said. Present tense is say, past tense is said. Another irregular verb. Example, the teacher said, "Good morning, everyone." Said. Perfect. Now let's look at how to describe a photograph in English.
Yes, describing photos is a very useful skill. Here are some phrases to use. Number 1, in this photo, you use this to start your description. For example, in this photo, 2 young people are standing in front of a building.
Number 2, she is wearing. Use this to describe clothes. For example, she is wearing a long skirt and a white blouse. Number 3, he looks. Use this to describe how someone seems or feels. For example, he looks happy and a little nervous.
And number 4, they are standing next to. Use this to describe position. For example, they are standing next to each other in front of the building. These phrases will help you describe any photo in English. Practice them at home.
Fantastic work, everyone. Okay, let's go back to the story. We left Eduardo and Rosa in the English classroom. Chapter 3, the language that changed everything.
Eduardo and Rosa went to English class every week. They studied together after class. They practiced new words. They read simple books together. And slowly, they began to understand more and more.
Right, and as they learned English together, they also learned about each other. Eduardo learned that Rosa loved to draw. Rosa learned that Eduardo loved music. They laughed together when they made mistakes. They helped each other when the grammar was difficult.
A shared language really does bring people together. Maya's mother continued the story. She said, "After 1 year of classes, your grandfather went to a job interview. He was very nervous, but he spoke English clearly and confidently, and he got the job."
Wow, that's such an important moment. Think about that. 1 year of hard work, 1 year of practice, and it opened the door that changed his entire life. That is the power of language.
Exactly. And Rosa found work too. As an artist, making illustrations for a local newspaper. She used her English every single day. She talked to editors, to writers, to readers. Her world grew bigger and bigger because of the language she had worked so hard to learn.
3 years after that first day of English class, the day in the old photograph, Eduardo asked Rosa to marry him. He wrote her a letter, a love letter, and he wrote it entirely in English, his second language, a language he had chosen to learn because he wanted a better life.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And Rosa said yes. They got married. They built a home. They had children, including Maya's mother. And they lived a full, rich life, all because two young people walked into an English classroom one September morning and decided to try.
Maya sat quietly for a long moment after her mother finished the story. She looked down at the photograph again. In the photo, her grandmother and grandfather were young. They were standing next to each other. They were wearing simple clothes. They looked hopeful.
They didn't know it then, did they? Maya said softly, that this one photograph was the beginning of everything. Her mother put her arm around Maya and said, no, they didn't know, but they were brave enough to try, and that made all the difference.
That evening, Maya picked up her phone and called her grandmother Rosa. Rosa was now 82 years old and lived in a small house with a garden full of flowers. When she answered, her voice was warm and slow.
Grandma, I found an old photograph today in the attic. It says, First day of English class, September 1962. Is that you and Grandpa? There was a pause on the phone, and then Rosa laughed, a soft, happy laugh.
Oh my goodness, yes, Maya, that is us. That was the most important day of my life. I was so scared that morning. My hands were shaking. But I walked into that classroom anyway, and there was your grandfather, smiling at me from across the room.
Maya smiled and held the photograph close to her heart. She said, I'm learning English too, Grandma, at school. Sometimes it's hard. Rosa said gently, I know, my love, but keep going. Language is a gift you give yourself, and it opens every door.
Maya placed the old photograph on her desk, next to her English textbook. She looked at the two young faces, hopeful, nervous, brave, and she made a promise to herself. She would keep learning, just like they did.
And that is the end of the old photograph. What a wonderful story. I honestly love it every single time we tell it. There is something so real and so human about it. Don't you think, Rex?
Absolutely, Melissa. Language really can shape a life. It shaped Eduardo's life, Rosa's life, their whole family. And for every one of you listening right now, learning English is your own brave step forward. We see you. We are proud of you.
Now it's time for something fun. It's our mini quiz section. We are going to ask you 2 or 3 simple questions about the story. Think about your answers. You can say them out loud or just think them in your head. Ready?
Question number 1. Where did Maya find the old photograph? Was it A, in the kitchen, B, in the attic, or C, in her school bag? Think about it. The answer is B, in the attic. Maya found the photograph in a box in the attic. The box had the word memories written on it. Well done if you got that right.
Question number 2. What was written on the back of the photograph? Take a moment. The answer is First day of English class, September 1962. Those words told Maya that her grandparents were in an English class when the photo was taken. Amazing memory if you remembered that.
And question number 3, and this one is a little more personal. This time, the question is for you. Think about this. Why did Eduardo and Rosa learn English? What were they hoping for? The answer from the story is they wanted a better life. They wanted to find work, make friends, and build a future. What about you? Why are you learning English? Think about your own reason. Your reason is important.
I love that question so much. Every learner has a reason, a dream, a goal. Hold on to yours because it will give you strength on the days when English feels difficult.
Before we say goodbye, let's do a very quick recap of everything we learned today. Family vocabulary, grandmother, grandfather, grandchild, relative, and ancestor. Past tense verbs, found, learned, remembered, went, and said.
And photo description phrases, in this photo, to start your description. She is wearing, to describe clothes. He looks, to describe feelings or appearance. And they are standing next to describe where people are. These are tools you can use anytime you look at a picture and want to describe it in English.
Here is a little homework challenge for you. Find an old photograph, maybe a photo of your family, your grandparents, or even yourself when you were younger. Try to describe it in English using the phrases we learned today. Start with, in this photo, and see how far you can go. You might surprise yourself.
Oh, I love that idea. A photograph holds so many stories, and now you have the English words to tell them. That is such a powerful thing.
It truly is. And remember, just like Eduardo and Rosa, you do not have to be perfect to begin. You just have to be brave enough to try. Every word you learn is a step forward. Every sentence you say is a victory.
We believe in you so much. Learning a new language is not easy, but you are doing it. You listened to this whole episode, and that means you are serious about your English. You should feel very proud of yourself today.
Thank you so much for joining us on the English Talk Show. We hope this story touched your heart a little and helped your English a lot.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who is also learning English. Learning together makes the journey so much better. And come back next time for another story, another lesson, and more encouragement from both of us.
Until next time, keep listening, keep practicing, and keep going. I'm Rex.
And I'm Melissa. You've got this. We'll see you next time on the English Talk Show. Goodbye, everyone, and happy learning.